Welcome back to Grit Gym, guys. I've got Kevin Burt here with me. Kevin Burt's an artist. I would call you a blues guy. Is that what you?
That is a good description.
If you guys have watched the show for a while, you know that I'm a huge blues fan. Like having him here is a pretty cool thing. I've been wanting to do this for a little while, so he's going to throw down some threads for us, and we're going to talk a little bit about what got him started into this, and really what it takes to. Because I think workout, music, sports, any kind of performance level deal. Like there is something going on there between like how you actually build up your skills, but also like being conscious of the crowd versus conscious of being all in one thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like do you get to a point where you're into your music so much that it's like everything disappears? Like it's just you, like it's the only thing in your world?
A lot of folks notice, if you come to my shows, you notice that a lot of the performance time I spend with my eyes closed when I'm actually playing, and it's weird. I tell folks because there's so many moving parts. I see a sound picture is how the best way to describe it. I'm imagining what I'm playing before it gets there, and it's a thing. It's a tool that I actually learned during playing sports. You know, I learned as a guy that didn't look like he was supposed to be a basketball player who loved playing basketball, that if I was ever going to do anything that would get that reaction out of a crowd, I had to first be able to imagine myself doing it.
Sure. Yeah.
And so if you can't imagine yourself doing it, if you don't have that creative of a mind where you can envision, you know, your 5'11" frame, you know, 260-pound self going up and dunking a basketball, you won't.
Yeah.
You won't try. And so you have to envision it. So I you know, a lot of the things that with the tracking device, my wife's calls, my kids' calls, they always come through. So
Yeah, you gotta set some priorities, right?
yeah.
Some things always make it through, but so like, what got you started into this anyway? Like what was the impetus of?
Actually, music found me, man. It was I just gotten cut from the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a Canadian football team. I just gotten done with my college career, and they gave me an opportunity to try out, and I didn't make the team, and so I came back to Iowa City with the intent of getting into graduate school, started working, and just decided to work. And at one of my jobs, my boss heard me singing in the office. And,
Really?
Yeah, and was just like, damn, you can sing. I was like, whatever. She's like, nah, my son is putting together a blues band. That band eventually was who became the Blues Instigators back in the early 90s. And so that got me started. You know, you put it in your heart and your soul that you've dedicated yourself to this one thing, this one moment, and one lesson that I've learned that I don't want to repeat is, as I look back on my athletic career, I know exactly what decisions I made to not be the best.
Okay, yeah. I think that's a good practice, like to sit back there and be like, okay, because then if you know what you did back then, you're less likely to repeat it in the future.
Yeah, and so that's kind of my, a wise person, not only learns from their mistakes, but they learn from others' mistakes. You know, and you see it all the time where, and it's given me a perspective that I realize that, with music. And that's the part that
100%.
that's the part that catches people by surprise. They don't ever open that door.
Yeah.
So
Well, I don't know if they even want to open that door.
Yeah.
Like that's a big scary door. Like be like, that's the mountain I got to climb. Like, man.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it takes to be a basketball player and be in the position where people expect you to score 40 points a night.
And put on a good show.
Yeah.
And still show up to all the things. And do all the publicity.
Yeah.
And
and so to be, a musician, and you get to a certain level, and you don't have to play 350 shows a year, to make ends meet. But when you are that musician and you have to play volumes of shows in order to make it make sense, there are no sick days. There's, you have to realize that you're the product.
Yeah. That I was there, maybe one more year, but yeah, we didn't even get locker rooms most of the time.
No,
we got like uniforms and stuff, and that was about it.
Yeah, initially they were just like, yeah, we're gonna pay everybody X amount of game, but if you don't make it to a game, I'm like, cool, that's I'll test drive that.
Yeah, no kidding.
And like a week before the first game, well, finance.
Actually, we can't make any money doing this, so you're playing for fun.
Yeah,
it's like,
I can't do that, man.
Yeah.
So I stepped away from it, man, because it was gonna be brutal.
Yeah.
It was gonna be. I could just tell that it was gonna take a bigger toll on an already injured soul. You know, and so I'm glad that music won.
Look at you, like wordsmithing right there. maybe.
Yourself time in and time out. Now I need to do the steady work. I need to find the paycheck. I need to. But sometimes you gotta, everybody's got a higher power. You've got that higher calling.
Sure.
The one thing that no matter which higher calling you speak with, you have your intimate relationship with, all of them ask of you to have faith. All of them do. And some of that faith, some of that is that they've made you in their image, and to have faith in them is also to have faith in yourself. And sometimes showing that faith that they keep showing you the path that they'd like you to try and move to, and you don't have the faith to step off the one that you think you're.
That you're supposed to do, or whatever it is.
Everybody tells me all the time, like, being a musician, man, it's got to be tough work, and it's no tougher than any other work.
Sure.
What's tough is waking up every day and going to a job you hate.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's you're the toughest person on the planet. If you can pull yourself out of slumber and get up on a day when it's a degree outside, go start your car, in your bathrobe and shiver coming back in, eat your breakfast, watch the news, drink your coffee, take the shower, get in the car, drive someplace where you know you don't like most of the folks that are around you.
Thing to me, like, what do you get out of playing? Like,
It's
'cause
weird, man.
It's almost like a spiritual. Like I really think like when I'm listening to certain kinds of music, it's like deeply moving,
Well, and
they're really just noises.
well, that's the thing,
It's
man.
weird.
That's the thing that makes blues to me. I'm not a structure guy.
Sure.
You know, 1-4-5. It's got to have this kind of chord. Blah blah blah. It's like the people that I admire with blues are you can feel the music. It's emotional.
Yeah.
There's just enough noise to emote to. You know, it is. It's just moving air, and the value of that air moving is all contingent upon how well it moves you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just everything comes out of his mouth.
Just comes out that way.
It just comes out as a song, man, and that's all you can do is go, wow.
Oh, thank you.
That's amazing, you know. And one of the things he said to me, and it's an odd analogy, but when you think about it, it's really quite perfect, you know. If you look at the world that we live in, you know, there's a lot of strange things that people will subject themselves to for a taste of fame or a taste of fortune.
Yeah.
You think about a thing like Playboy magazine.
Yeah. Yeah. They sell out to a
Right.
certain degree. Yeah.
There's going to be 12 centerfolds. As a performer, we have to do the same things, just with our souls.
Yeah.
Because if I can bear my soul, then all of a sudden
There's a connection.
There's a connection.
Yeah.
You know, I'm as vulnerable as you are, and if I'm willing to do that, then all of a sudden, you know, you feel connected to me.
Yeah.
Whether I'm feeding, you know, whether it's coming back to me or not, there's that connection exists for one of us.
Yeah.
And when the music is that accessible, all of a sudden, you know, we got a thing, and that's what makes that air precious.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
Shirts are $20. Leggings are $60 each. Yeah. Oh, if you got a strategy session, baby, you come on over here. Shake that thing for me.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So
We Too true.
So, I mean, it doesn't take, the
man.
deep, deep thought in order to find it. It just takes, like I said, it takes that moment. It's, nobody on that side of what it was we just did. To describe to somebody that has never heard me before exactly what I sound like, to the point where they can imagine what I sound like.
Yeah.
But if I can do something that makes them laugh, they'll tell that story for years.
Yeah.
Every time my name comes up, they'll tell that
Yeah,
story.
you gave them an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they put that in the
And so,
the vault.
Yeah, from that end of the street, that's the difference between, for me, being a musician and being an entertainer.
Oh yeah.
Because there's millions upon millions of fantastic musicians, but not everybody understands what it takes to entertain. It's not just about making the air move. Anybody can learn how to make the air move.
Yeah. You can hit that like perfect, but like can you put it together in a way that gives people an experience that like hits them so deep that they can't even explain it.
Yeah, and so that's, I always, my analogy is anybody can put colors on a canvas and stick it on the wall, but it doesn't become art until it makes somebody forget to breathe.
Right.
When they're walking past it, they see it and everything stops. That's when art, that's when those light refractions have transformed into art. Same kind of thing with music. You can catch somebody by surprise, make them cry when they weren't expecting to cry, make them laugh when it was their worst day ever. Those are the and so I don't take either one as a knock. At the end of the day, they were at my show.
Right.
They took on the experience, and the thing that I would rather not see, and this is for any setting, I'd rather not see somebody in the middle of a song get up and walk out. That makes you question.
Sure.
You hope everything's okay, but ultimately you have to realize at some point in time you're never going to be everybody's cup of tea. Just doesn't take away from the idea that you are a cup of tea.
You'd be a big cup of tea, man.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
that's all right. It's all right. It'll be available there. Music, T-shirts, hats, all the fun stuff, all in the process of being built. And so that's, my world is wonderfully unprepared for all of the cool stuff that's trying to happen right now.
Yeah.
But it's
That's
good.
that's probably a good thing though. I
It
mean,
is, man,
if you weren't in some level of I'm not prepared for this next thing, like you probably wouldn't be pushing hard enough.
Yeah, well, and that's for me. That's also, I don't know. That lets me know that I've been enjoying the journey.
Sure.
Because I'm not. I'm learning as I'm moving through. There's really no place, no need, no cause for there to be. You're stuck.
Right.
And so there has to be on some level a value of, and I'm realizing for myself, the quest for a healthier Kevin is an ongoing battle, but being on the road more makes it an even bigger challenge.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah.
Because it's only, I mean, what do you get? You get, for every one decently healthy option, you got another 30 breathing down your neck, being like.
Yeah. So I mean, when I'm on the kind of intense run, like this thing that's coming up on the East Coast, now I got friends cooking for me, as opposed to having to always just trust a stranger. And that food is the most strangely intimate.
It is.
Giveaway.
It is so weird. It's so weird, isn't it? Yeah. It's one of your greatest pleasures, though. I mean, like it's like do you live to eat or do you eat to live? It's both, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to literally put this into my body, and it's going to fuel my soul, and it's gonna keep me going, so I can take care of my family and all of this stuff. What's your name?
Yeah. And when you're buying something that's not even real food, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But a lot out here is that everybody knows enough to make better decisions.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows that an apple's better than a Snickers bar for the most part.
Yeah.
It's just not.
And so, like I said, for me, the new normal is to travel with a bag of almonds. The new normal is to travel with, I found out I really like figs. I didn't know I didn't know I liked figs until I saw my daughter was just like, we had this my friend had this. You ought to try these. And I'm like, giant raisins.
Yeah. That's basically all they are.
But they're stupid sweet.
They're really good.
And
they're
delicious.
They're
so much energy.
Yeah.
the show, I can go drink a pot of coffee, get home, and yeah, game over.
Not I.
Kevin is off. You know. I can do that.
Yeah. I did want to ask you, like, who some of your favorite artists are.
Well, I'm a fan of, you know, all of the cliches. You know, the three kings: B.B. King, Albert King, Freddie King. You know, I'm a big, like, Aretha Franklin. I'm a big Motown, Gladys Knight and the Pips, that kind of thing. All of the, you know, if you can pretty much name them in the blues world, I dig them.
Really?
You know, but the thing that doesn't get heralded enough for me is the influences of the people that are Hazel. Those are guys that I saw doing this.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think you get more out of that, like actually being in the presence of the person rather than like hearing their music on the radio or hear, you know?
Absolutely, man. Because I mean, even with a guy like me, I mean, if you hear the song, you know, you go, wow, that guy's a really good harmonica player.
Sure.
Wow, that guy's decent on the guitar. Wow, that guy's got a great voice. But you don't realize that I'm doing all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like now.
Yeah.
I'm doing it in real time. It's not one and then the other and then the other.
I don't even know if they understand what you mean there. Like this is all set, like he's doing it.
Yeah, I mean it's the way
like
that
in the moment.
Yeah, it's the way that the music. Against himself, and
Really?
he's But if you heard the recording, you'd be like, man, those two guitars are killer.
Oh, but it's just one.
But when
dude.
you see him perform the song,
it's like another level.
Oh my God,
that's amazing.
You know, but why would you just? You've got to go and experience that. You can't just. I mean, you can listen to it and it sounds great. It just sounds like a really, really, really great guitar duo thing. But when you realize that this guy is standing there with one guitar on him and another one on a stand, and he's just, you know, playing two guitar parts at the same time. It's ridiculous.
And do you think, like, if you had heard,
As you know, Jordan or LeBron, any of those guys.
Well, LeBron's 6'9", has a 40-inch vertical leap. So,
but at the end of the day, I don't know whether I could have or not because I didn't put in the amount of work that it took to do what he does.
Yeah.
You know, one of my favorite stories in sport is a guy that walks up to John Daly in a bar. He goes, "Man, I wish I could drive a golf ball like you."
Yeah.
John Daly picks up his drink, takes a sip, doesn't even look at the guy, and goes, "No, you don't." Just keeps drinking his drink.
Okay.
So the guy gets a little upset. He goes, "No, I really do. I wish." "No, you don't." And he takes another sip. The guy starts to get a little irate with him and goes, "What do you mean? I absolutely wish I could drive a golf ball. You can't tell me that." And Daly looks at him and goes, "How many golf balls you hit today?" Well, none. Well, I hit 1,000. You don't. Better.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a long way to go to develop a vocabulary on a guitar that is comparable to the people I admire.
Yeah.
You know, but most of those folks don't do all three at the same time. They
Sure.
don't sing, play guitar, play harmonica. And I do it the way that it makes sense to me.
Sure. Well, you have to. What else you got to do?
But it makes, evidently it sounds pretty good to other folks.
Yeah.
And that's the part. That's what I have. That's what I can bring.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it sounds good to me, man. I like it. I enjoy it every
Cool.
time.
Who we got listening, man? Who's hanging out with us?
I think we've had.
Little stretch for the next year or two. But this is a song that's about being a blues singer from Iowa and having gone to the places where everybody thinks, well, that's just where blues belongs. That's where its roots are. But there's roots of blues every place.
Yeah.
And folks seem to forget that you know, Iowa's been a part of our country's history just like every place else has been. Might not have, you know, the recognition, doesn't get that little sexy piece that some of the other places do, but the same trials and tribulations that have happened every place else happened here too. And down through them old crossroads, you know that Dale was sending me straight back home. Yes, he did. I say, Lord, I ain't done nobody wrong for most of my life. You know, Lord, I ain't done nobody wrong, no, oh, for most of my life. Lord say, just because you ain't done nobody wrong, boy, that don't mean you done a damn thing right now. I'm smack dab in the middle. You can't see where I'm going. That's because you don't know where it is I've been now. You can't see where it is I'm going, baby, because you don't know where it is I've been. And just because I came around this way one time, baby, that don't mean I'm ever coming back this way again.
That's so damn good. I love that sound. It's just.
So, like
Yeah,
I said,
that's a treat,
it's one thing to hear the music, but it's another thing to be there with it. You know, there's something that's, again, you know, it's the most intense thing I've ever experienced as a fan is going to an Iowa wrestling meet.
Really?
It's the most intense thing I've ever seen in my life because there are so many true wrestling fans.
Oh,
The person that is performing it is really into it when it's when it's them.
yeah.
You know, it's not something that I can do. It's who I am.
Yeah.
This is what you get. I'm sharing, I'm putting my emotions on my sleeve.
Yeah.
I'm throwing this at you. This is who I am. And if you don't walk out of that space and understand that, then it was a nice night.
Yeah.
You know, but when you do get that,
Right.
you walk out of there and things might change for you.
Yeah, you might, like, I guarantee you there's somebody that has heard your music and literally it changed their life.
You know, I've heard, I've gotten was one of my favorite ones. You don't take on vast projects with half-vast ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding.
You know?
Serious.
So I mean, my goal, my intent was to do this and do it like to create a fingerprint for my home state. You know, blues has a fingerprint geographically.
Yeah.
You know, Chicago sound, boom, fingerprint.
Sure.
Memphis sound, boom, fingerprint.
Yeah.
Texas, boom, fingerprint.
Right.
Iowa. Not quite.
Yeah.
You know, there's a bunch of really, really good folks, but there's not a fingerprint. There's nothing that says, you know what, this is what blues is defined. beauty of it, man.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
remarkably simple, but simple ain't easy.
Right.
And that's the part that
Exactly.
too many people, you know, again, lifting weights. You know, put the weights on the bar, you pick it up, push
Yep.
it, and put it back down.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
All right? If it's so simple, get
Right.
your butt in here and do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's not easy.
That's not easy.
A
Yeah.
million reasons to do anything, you know, one reason to not,
Yep.
you know? And so everybody knows the benefits of certain things, man. There's a benefit to the social idea of getting out and enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
You know, there's a benefit to that. You know, you might mess around and meet somebody that you didn't have to lie to online. Yeah.
It's like, wait, what?
You know, you know, I had over the last couple of years, I've had some health issues, and it's taken for me the reality of understanding that, you know, my responsibility is to do, not necessarily to understand,
Sure.
not necessarily to control, not necessarily to, you know, but mine is to do. You know, if the idea is there, my responsibility to my higher power and to myself is to act on it. You know, if the idea crosses, I have to create action. You know, because I was blessed with that idea. To exist is the opportunity to share it. The opportunity to share
Right.
your gift is
That's
a
a good
blessing.
point.
You know, and so you always have to respect the blessing.
That's a good point.
There's millions of people that can do exactly what I'm doing, probably better than me. But do they create the opportunity
Yeah.
to share it?
Yeah. Do they have the guts to actually get out there,
Yeah,
put their soul on the line?
Yeah, because until you decide that, you know what, this is the path my higher power wants me on.
Right.
You know, this is the direction I need to go.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you know, folks may be sitting there going, he says higher power a lot. You know, and I do that because. Come in and they loud mouthing and bad talking and doing wrong. Now they've earned your disrespect.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
you've
You want
earned the
you want to be
opportunity
kind, but you want to
to not respect that person.
Yeah.
Because they don't respect anybody else.
Exactly.
So respect is a given.
Yep.
Disrespect is earned.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you
Yeah.
got to go out of your
I'll give you
way to
that.
lose
Yeah.
my respect.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You-
That's my thing. Like, I
Yeah.
want to be able to be kind, but I want to be able to be dangerous at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm a remarkably kind soul, and there's those individuals on the planet that take kindness for weakness, and that's not the case.
It's really silly.
Yeah.
It's a huge mistake on their
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
But yeah, I've never understood the tolerance thing. It's like, I don't want to.
I don't have to worry about, you know, what God you pray to. I don't have to worry about.
Nope.
I don't have to worry about who you're attracted to. I don't have to worry about who's attracted to you. I don't have to worry about, you know.
You don't even have to worry about the decisions that they make in their life.
Boom.
It's just like, it's their life.
Yeah. And so.
Yeah. And you don't have to tolerate the decisions that they made. You just say, that's you. And
Yeah.
it was your life, and you got to choose what you did with it.
Yeah.
And I can accept that, and I can respect it. But the second
Yeah.
that you start imposing that on other people in a crappy way, it's like, now I don't. Now I don't have to.
Yeah.
Now you pushed it too far. Yeah, I completely agree.
You know, and the same thing, you know, like I said, all of this stuff kind of, you know, again, it rounds itself back into like the music thing for me. You know, there's a.
Yeah.
All right, but it's a different sound. We don't call it blues, okay? We don't call it blues, it's called rock and roll, okay? Fine. They have their 6-decade career,
Yeah, they're getting up there.
okay? And they turn around, and last year they decide, hey, we're gonna put out a blues album. But they just get to say that they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
And, oh, it's the Rolling Stones. Oh, that's blues album of the year, contemporary blues album of the year.
Yeah.
But what about all of these other cats that are playing blues every day, all day, and you won't allow them to cross? What?
What do you mean it's not blues?
It's like, by our standards, it's not blues.
What was it? Did they give a reason, or did they just say, nope, it's not?
It was our decision. Our final decision is that it's not blues.
They didn't give them like this, and this. These are our.
Did they do
I guess
that?
whatever.
Did they do that with the Rolling Stones?
Yeah, no kidding.
See?
Yeah. See, I have trouble with that. Like, I can't do anything without a reason behind it.
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm going to wash my hands, I got to have a reason for washing my hands. If I'm going to tie or untie my shoes, I got to have a reason for it. If I'm going to move the chair from here to there, I got to have a reason to move the chair from here to there.
Yeah.
I just
there should be an
that would bug me if
explanation that
people
goes
were
along
like,
with it. world, you've crossed paths with something that he did.
Sure.
You know, and you know, Chris Thomas King is someone who, in my opinion, he's a fantastic contemporary blues artist. Tells stories. He's an entertainer when he performs out. Great voice, hell of a guitarist.
Yeah.
Just all around. He's been a musician his whole life. A blues musician his whole life.
And they won't call him blues.
And for this recording, they just get to arbitrarily define him and not allow him to define himself.
What do they call like a Gary Clark Jr.? What do they call him?
Well, that's the thing. You know,
Or like a George Thorogood? What do you call him?
see,
Or even
George
like
Thorogood calls himself rock and roll,
does he?
but they put Pride until he died. Then for about 35 seconds, we had Cowboy Troy.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't
You
think
know,
of his name. Thank you.
and then we got
I don't know.
Darius Rucker.
Yes, thank you.
Now.
Yeah.
And so
I was like, who's the guy now? I was like, I know who he is because he
Name-
didn't used to be country. And I was
name
trying to think of
name a black woman.
You mean in,
in
country? I'm going like Etta James, Aretha
Not
Franklin.
country, blues.
And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like that's
Yeah.
all I can come up with.
Yeah,
And
there's no black women that they will ever ascend, allowed to ascend. I'm sure that they're there.
yeah, and now I'm going to like the Fugees. So,
But
Yeah, I'm
you
trying to
know,
think
you
of-
have to find you find. A real superstar. Think about this now. You know, a true superstar.
yeah,
How old are you?
33.
33. You know who Frank Sinatra is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I
You
like Frank a
realize
lot.
Frank Sinatra's been dead longer than you've been alive.
Yeah, like 10 years longer. I think he died in like the early 70s. or
Okay.
something like that, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he died sometime in the 70s. I don't remember. Maybe in the 80s.
So there's absolutely no reason. He's done nothing culturally significant in your lifetime,
No.
but he still is the definition of cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we have lyrics up on like the song "My Way."
Yeah.
Comes down to power.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, think about it though, man. You know, the way that the industry, when you and I, when I grew up, there used to just be Casey Kasem top 40.
Yeah.
It
Right.
used to come on the radio. You'd hear Glenn Campbell, Earth, Wind and Fire,
Yeah.
James Brown, George Strait. You
Next to
know?
James Brown.
Yeah, it was just the top 40 songs in the country.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. Top 40 is very genre specific. Why is that? Now, it's broken into categories.
You think it's because like technology and social media and that kind of stuff, or do you think it's like
To me, it's for me.
the powers that be? Really?
Just different festivals and
No kidding.
different things and he requested that I do an opening show with him, for him, in the Quad Cities,
Oh, that's awesome.
just the last one that we did together. I saw him put on his show, and there was not a time that he played songs exactly the same, ever.
Really?
You know, and so the organicness of how it flows out of him,
Yeah.
is remarkable to experience.
Yeah. His
And-
creativity just must be through the roof.
But as emotional as I try to be with all he has to do is say,
Yeah.
"This is a blues album." Okay, that's all he has to do is say it one time.
That's insane. Like, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, like, I almost guarantee you're right. But yeah, like, even you say Slash, and all I can think, like, the first thing I think of is, like, you know, him and all with the church in the background and November Rain and then Desert or whatever, you know, and he's just, you know, in that music video.
You know, but that's
I'm watching it when I'm like 12
you know,
and be like, that's so cool.
God bless Billy Gibbons. You know, Billy Gibbons with ZZ Top, guitar player with the beard, just put out a blues album.
You did?
Yeah,
Is it any good?
yeah. Well, ZZ Top's always played blues.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they'll push them over to rhythm and blues. They go, oh, all right, that's an R&B thing.
Yeah.
But even when there's very few that you see that play the music, Prince played the music, but he was just Prince. He was undefinable.
Is Michael Jackson in the rock category or is he in the pop category?
Well, again,
What
who
is he,
plays again?
Well,
the
is he
mindset
white,
of
is
to
he
me-
white or black?
to me, the mindset of pop is remarkably that's a tough one,
Yeah.
because nobody plays a mean pop guitar.
Yeah.
So it's not a style of music as
Yeah.
it is a definition of popularity.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this is popular before you hear it.
Yeah.
It's pop music. It's popular music.
Yeah.
That's it. Popular music used to be because the music was good enough transfer.
Right.
You know, you can take songs that are pop songs, popular songs. You know, you take something. This is an older one, but I've always liked this as a story. My loneliness is killing me, and I must confess, child, I still believe, oh, I still believe when I'm not with you, baby, it blows my mind. Give me a sign, oh, hit me, baby, one more time. Yes, all right.
Yeah. I like
So-
that.
I took a chance and I played this song. And it's my personal feeling that if somebody says one of my major influences is American blues, then it's inherently in everything that they did.
Sure.
But what makes American blues remarkably unique is that it's folk music from African American souls.
Yeah.
And so if you don't grow up as an African American soul, even though it's an influence, you're going to tell the story based on your perspective.
Sure, yeah, like a Johnny Lang or
Yeah.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
It's just based on your perspective.
Yeah.
Now, if I try to do an impersonation of somebody I'm not,
Yeah.
it's not. Won't you take a look at all them lonely people, babe? Oh, you got to take a look at all them lonely people. Eleanor Rigby picked up the rice at a church where wedding had been. Lives in a dream, says at a window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door. All the lonely people, tell me, where do they all come from? Where they all come from? All them lonely people, where do they all belong? Won't you take a look at all them lonely people, babe? Oh, you got to take a look at all lonely people. Eleanor Rigby died at the church and was buried alone. Oh, you got to take a look at all them lonely people. See, I know you see a birthday standing right there. Oh, but you gonna walk past them with your nose in the air. Won't you take a look at all the lonely people? Do you hear me, mister? These your brothers, these your sisters. Won't you take a look at all the lonely people? Now if you'd open up your heart, you just might see it's a bunch of lonely folks looking just like you and me. Yes, it is. Oh, you got to take a look at all them lonely people. vision that could really ruin this person's day or year or life. I'm hoping that by delivering stuff the way that I do, that it makes them go, wait a second, that's what he was talking about. I heard this the other day. This is my moment. You know? So, like I said, you know, at the end of everything, you know, you were talking about, you know, what do I get out of it?
Yeah.
I get out of it the hope that it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, that's really what I'm doing it for. You know, when you do what you're supposed to do the right way, I'm a firm believer that everything else takes care of itself.
Yeah.
You know, I got really Delta blues. You know, I'm not that.
Sure.
I'm not that. I didn't grow up immersed in that.
Yeah.
And so I'm delivering songs the way I know how to deliver songs. And it got no response out of this audience. And I'm walking off the stage, and Mr. Edwards was standing at the bottom of the stairs leading to the stage. He waited till I looked him in the eye, and he said, I get to carry this with me, because he said, boy, if you play for applause, that's all you're going to ever get.
Yeah. No kidding.
You know, you did fine.
Yeah.
You know, just
Because sometimes cricket, you don't know what crickets mean.
yeah.
That's not your decision, right?
It's not my call.
Yeah.
You know, so there
You
has
don't
to
know.
be.
They could have just all been sitting there like weeping.
Yeah.
You know, like
There has to be a high. Impact somebody else. You just hope that it impacts them in a way that makes them want to run into it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that's ultimately that's I think where I'm at, man, is I'm hoping that I can, you know, get people to say, you know what, Burt's playing over here. You know, I'm gonna get off my couch.
Right.
And I'm gonna make the effort to be
Yeah.
there and so that he can look at me and I can look at him, and we know we got each other. We're supporting each other.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
to me that's something that's, again, I love the internet. It puts me in a lot of places
Sure.
that I didn't. $7 days
Yeah.
on a cruise ship through the Sea of Cortez, and then back to San Diego. You know, leaving San Diego, come back.
Yeah.
It's freaking incredible.
Yeah.
From show to show to show, different styles, different presentations. But if you weren't there, it can't be explained to you.
Yeah.
Because this guy called that guy up, and that lady called that lady, and those ladies called this guy. And if you weren't on the boat, you didn't see, you know, Mike Zito playing next to Tab Benoit with Kevin Burt on harmonica.
Yeah.
sit down. Yeah. Now, you got to do right to keep that seat. But eventually,
you got to show up, right?
Yeah, but eventually somebody's going to come around and say, what can we get for you?
Yeah.
And it's when that happens, that's when you have your seat at the table.
Yeah.
But until somebody says, what can we do for you?
Yeah.
You just got a place to sit for a minute.
Yeah, you still got to earn it.
Yeah. And so that's, those are, they're lessons being learned on the fly right now by me. There's a lot of, oh man, you made it. You did this.
I love when people say that, like, man, this is what it looks like to make it. It's like, what's that mean?
This is
made it where?
This is. Right now, I'm trying to make sure that I'm figuring out how to collect the winnings, because the winnings aren't just that moment. It's the tomorrow. It's the next year. It's the.
Well, you're only as good as your last at bat, right? It doesn't matter. Like there's a handful of gold medalists, Olympic gold medalists in this town, right?
Yeah.
That might have been 40 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing today? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But, now, Vincent. Well, you want to sing us down with one?
I can make
You
it
want to throw something down? We'll finish up.
When you think about it, babe, it's been a long, long time searching for a love like you found in me. You kept asking for it, praying for it, hoping for it. And when you found it, babe, you wouldn't open up your eyes so you could see. I was right here, my dear, I'm ready to give you more. Still, I have so much in store. You never needed enough. I better open up your eyes and be glad we found each other and a real love, baby. I said, and when I found it, babe, I wasn't sure what it was that I was supposed to do. But now I'm older, now I'm wiser, now I understand some way, somehow. I got to keep you, baby, here in my life. I never needed enough. I finally understand why there is no need to look no further for real love, baby. I said a real love. The kind of love that we should hold on to is real love, baby. Well. Oh, it's the kind of love I want to share with nobody else but you. Yeah. go on any further. We dream about the future, stuck living in the past. Baby, these are the questions both of us know we've heard asking. I just know, honey, I don't want no other. I'm so glad, child, we finally found each other and a real love, baby. I said a real love, the kind of love that we should hold on to. It's a real love, baby, well. Oh, it's the kind of love I want to share with nobody else but you. I said it's a real love. Hey, it's a real love, baby. The kind of love that we should hold on to. It's real. Mama, I-O. Well, don't you look no further. I say, day-o, some day-o. Tell me you, I-O. Yeah.
Santa, you, and then somebody else. I'll think about it. I'll shoot you a message when I know.
That's cool, man. But the contest down in Memphis this past year opened up a lot of doors for me. It's the International Blues Challenge put on by the National Blues Foundation. I went down there to compete in the solo duo category. I won the opportunity by winning the Iowa Blues Challenge. And I'm the first person from Iowa to win the International Blues Challenge, but I'm also the first artist to ever sweep all of the categories.
Oh, really?
Harmonica with the group War back in the day, who now plays
Nice.
with the Lowrider Band.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, Lee Oscar. He's a bad man. He's defined sounds with a harmonica, man, more than people realize. Man, culturally they've influenced more. To me, they've had a stronger cultural influence than people give them credit, man. But the Lowrider Band is the band that I encourage folks. The record label essentially stole the name, the War.
Oh, okay.
And so the record label won't relinquish the name, so they perform. influences that those guys have put out into the world, man. And it's iconic music.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, Malcolm Gladwell did a podcast on that where he went through like rock and roll, country, blues, like, and went back to like historical roots of like, and like lyrical, like why they connect with certain areas of the country and don't, and others, and how the internet's influenced that. It was really interesting, but, and then backwards too, like,
well,
like what are these moving forward? What are the effects on us now?
The one thing that the internet has done is it's created a much shorter attention span.
Oh yeah, yeah. We know that it's dropped down to 13 seconds in a. You do it as fast as you could. You just play one note.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Like it's a story, like you said. It's like it's an experience, and if you don't build up to it, like what I'm just.
Somebody said you're confusing me. It was 2-0.
Oh, I don't know. I'm connected on some of that, but but even like that's something you just did. Like there was like it was like a lot of energy, and then it dropped down.
Yeah.
And it like came back at the end. It's just like I like it when songs do that a lot.
Well, the one of the things, that's to me that's how emotion works.
Yeah.
You know, we don't run at the same emotional timbre, the same emotional, we
I'm on a boat.
But
I'm on a boat.
It could buy me a boat. It could buy me a truck to pull it.
Yeah.
Something with some silver bullets. I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. But that song, it could buy me a boat. It's a country song. But
I thought you were talking about a different one a second ago.
Oh, the Pony Boat song. I love that song. Man. That's so loud. I love it. Yeah, I heard the Holmes Brothers do a version of that song. So I cover their version.
I'll go look it up.
Yeah, but
That's
Holmes
good.
Holmes Brothers, man, they opened my. I've always taken music on. Again, the story is the important part. Change the emotional tone.
Huh.
Somebody told me, one of my music nerd friends told me that song was written about from the perspective of a guy trying to connect with his father.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want you to
It's a
want
totally
me.
different
I
song.
need you to need me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the energy that is being, is, look at me, Dad.
Yeah.
Is the intent.
Right.
But if you just take the lyrics and you put them on a piece of paper and you read them, it's a pretty intense,
right.
Love sonnet.
That's kind of what I was thinking about after you said that, about where you're like, it's not like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if you think about the lyrics.
Yeah.
If you think about the lyrics, it's.
I do a similar thing.
the
Every
I'll always
breath
be
you take,
watching, or
every breath you take, every
Yeah.
breath you take.
Yeah, it's a good song and all, but it's like,
Yeah.
dude, like you listen to this is like
Well,
messed up.
still my kisses. You know, technically that's politically incorrect. You can't do that, man. That's the unwanted touch.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit out there for sure.
Yeah, but it's, you know, again, in some settings, man.
But if you listen to these like new age rappers, like some of their lyrics, you're like,
I have, man, and it's
some of it's just so awful. Where it's like, some of it's just like, dude, I can't. Like some of the high school kids that are in here listen to it, and I'm just like, why do you like this?
Yeah.
Like, do you listen to it? They're like, we don't listen to the words. Like, well, they're dumb.
yeah.
They're just really
It's
dumb.
like, well, that's what the
I'm pretty sure it's the Partridge Family song. How's that go? I think I love you, but
Yeah.
what am I so afraid of? Yeah, and they did that next to a Kendrick Lamar song, and it just like paralleled the entire time. And I was like, shut up, that can't be real.
well, you know,
Maybe
the song Tennessee Whiskey.
Yeah,
That's an old Etta James tune. The music.
yeah,
You know, I'd rather go blind. If you listen to I'd Rather Go Blind and you played those at the same time with each other,
yeah. You mean like Chris
Music is-
Stapleton's
yeah.
Tennessee Whiskey and
Yeah.
Etta James? Yeah,
it's the same song.
I'll have to listen to them side by side.
You know, so somebody asked me one night, "Oh, you got to do the song Tennessee Whiskey," and I had never heard it, and they pulled it up. Take that trip.
Yeah,
You know, and so yeah, it's the working title right now. You know, but it's, you know, it's my version of. Baby, you know as time's moved on, oh, things ain't been. Baby, even though sometimes you drive me crazy, but I ain't gonna take this trip now with no one else, child, but you. You know?
yeah. That's like Tennessee Whiskey meets Amazing Grace. You know? Yeah, with your spin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the if we get to recycle, I'm recycling too, as opposed to doing, you know, because it is a pretty song, you know, and it's a pretty progression, you know, above and beyond everything, you know, it's a pretty progression. So, like I said, I'll let them inspire me,
Yeah.
you know, but
Might as well.
yeah. you know, all, you know, the classic, you know, the classic antagonists and protagonists that are out there. You know, every story has those pieces.
Yep.
And so you know, unless you're just going straight information, you know.
Yeah.
But even doing something like that, like I said, just messing with the board right there.
Yeah.
When we did that earlier, there's something that gives you that double entendre.
I like that word.
You know.
Yeah, it's a good word. I don't get to hear that very often. It's a good word.
You know, there's something that you can throw in there that'll give football, man.
It might as well
forever.
be. Yeah.
So